let us understand now the idea behind the wheel of death. Now, what is wheel of death? Actually, you have seen in many fairs that a two-wheeler rider rides in a well, okay, and his motion is in a horizontal circle, but the two-wheeler is actually moving on the walls of the well. How this happens? Let us see, taking one example, okay. See, in the wheel of death, the bike rider moves with very high velocity inside the well, and the wheels are moving on the walls of the well. Getting it? Now, question comes: which are the forces acting on this vehicle? Okay. Now, first force which I'll tell you is the normal reaction. The surface of the wall provides the normal reaction which is directed towards the center of the circle. Getting it? It is directed along the radius, directed towards the center of the circle. That is the normal reaction acting on that vehicle. Secondly, there are two forces acting. One is the weight of the vehicle which will be directed vertically downwards. The weight of the vehicle will be what? Directed vertically downwards. And at the same time, there is a frictional force of static friction, which will be directed vertically upwards. Both are in opposite direction. I repeat, the normal reaction will be pointing towards the center N. The frictional force, force of static friction will be upwards, and the weight will be downwards. Now you'll ask me why Fs is upwards. Understand this: if the tires slip, in which direction tires will move? Downwards. And frictional force of static friction will be always pointing in what? Upward direction, opposite to the direction of motion of the tires, right? So three forces are acting on this vehicle when it is moving inside the well. One is the normal reaction, other is what? The weight, and third is the force of static friction. Look at the board. Here, instead of showing a bike or anything, I have simply shown a point. Okay, this point is indicating the vehicle which is moving along the circular path. And here, which forces are acting on it? Weight downwards, Fs force of static friction upwards, and N is the normal reaction which is pointing towards the center of the circular track. Now, looking at diagram, I am resolving the forces which you see here. Okay. First of all, Fs is equal to mg, correct? Secondly, the normal reaction N is providing the necessary centripetal force. Centripetal force is given by m omega square r or m v square upon r. Is it okay? So Fs is balanced by mg, and normal reaction is providing the necessary centripetal force given by m omega square r or m v square upon r. Now look here. Always the force of static friction should be less than or equal to mu s into n. So when I substitute these values of equation 1 and equation 2 in this equation, what I get? See, mg less than equal to mu s into n. N is written as m v square upon r. Okay, n gets cancelled. G less than equal to mu s into v square upon r. Okay, or I can write this same expression as v square greater than equal to, okay, gr upon mu. For minimum velocity, okay, V min should be greater than or equal to square root of gr upon mu s. Okay, I'm sorry, v square is greater than v min equal to square root of gr upon mu s. This is the minimum velocity that rider should possess for a circular motion along the walls of the wall of death. Getting it? And this v min depends on what? Which factors? G, which is constant, R, which is constant, and main thing is mu s. Mu s is the coefficient of static friction. If the static friction is more, okay, then minimum velocity will be less. So this is our final expression. Good morning, friends. We move on with the next topic of rotational dynamics, and the topic we'll learn today is vertical circular motion. See, in my earlier topic I explained you about conical pendulum, right? And I told you that the conical pendulum is in circular path and it undergoes horizontal circular motion. Today we'll talk about vertical circular motion. Okay. Now in vertical circular motion, a good example I can give is of giant wheel. You have seen giant wheel in fairs. How it is rotating? It is rotating in a vertical plane, but the speed of giant wheel is controlled. It is controlled by motors, and that's why it is moving with uniform speed. It is moving with what? Uniform speed. But you have seen the roller coasters at SL World or Imagica. You sit in the roller coasters and they go in vertical circle and suddenly they come down. The velocity is different at the highest point and at the lowest point. At highest point the velocity decreases, and as it moves down, the roller coaster will show increase in velocity. Okay, so vertical circular motion may be of two types. One in which there is uniform circular motion, it is in controlled manner, and in second case the motion is controlled by gravitational force. The gravitational force will affect its velocity at different positions. Okay, now see carefully this example. Here I want to rotate this object in a circular path. Okay, circular path, vertical circular motion. So what I do, I slowly increase its velocity. Okay, slowly I increase the velocity, and in such a way that it undergoes what? Circular motion. Okay, once again I show. See, this is the object. I am applying tension to it, and with a certain tension it can rotate in a circular path. But if you observe carefully, as it is moving upwards, its velocity decreases, and as it comes down, the velocity increases. That means the velocity is totally controlled by what? The gravitational force. At highest point the velocity will be minimum, at the lowest point the velocity will be maximum. Over here we'll talk about the tension in the string at the lowest point and at the highest point, and also about the velocity of the object at the highest point and the lowest point. Okay, so I'll explain this on the board. Okay, we have to understand the tension and velocity at the highest point, lowest point, as well as at the midpoint. Okay, look at the diagram. There is an object which is undergoing vertical circular motion. The velocity is not uniform, so we cannot call it as uniform circular motion. Okay, now I have taken 4 positions. Position A, B. Okay, this is position B, and this is position D and C. Let's first talk about the position A. Okay, now R is the radius of this circular path, and weight of the object is M. At the highest point, okay, when the object reaches the highest point, which are the forces acting on the body? See, first of all, you know weight of the object is vertically downwards mg. Okay. Second will be the tension in the string, which is also directed along the radius towards the center. Both mg and ta provide the necessary centripetal force for circular motion at point A. That's why I can write here forces acting on the body mg plus ta equal to mva square upon r. Equation 1. Okay, it's so simple. Mg and ta are both directed along the radius towards the center and they provide the necessary centripetal force for circular motion. Now, when the tension in the string is minimum, okay, only weight will be acting on the body and that will be providing the centripetal force. So in such cases the velocity will be minimum. Va will be what? Minimum. Or I can say Va is the minimum velocity for the object so that it can complete the circle. In such cases the equation 1 changes to mg equal to mva min the whole square upon r, or Va min equal to gr, or Va min equal to square root of gr. This is the expression for minimum velocity of the object at point A. Once again look at the diagram. We will now talk about the object at the lowest point, point B. At this point you can see the weight is downwards while tension in the string is directed along the radius towards the center. In such conditions, what will I write? Okay. Now naturally Tb is greater than mg. So I will write Tb minus mg equal to mv square upon r. Tb minus mg will provide the necessary centripetal force at point B, and that I'll write on the board. See here. The forces at the lowest point B, the forces which will act will be Tb minus mg equal to mvb square upon r. Getting it? This is the force. These are the forces acting on the body at the lowest point. This is equation 2. Equation 3. Sorry. Getting it? Look at the board. See. Now the object is in vertical circular motion. Suppose at point A the velocity is Va. The kinetic energy of the object will be half mva square. As it comes down under gravitational force, its velocity will increase and its velocity will become what? Half mvb square. Now you can guess what will happen to the kinetic energy. The kinetic energy will definitely increase. But as we all know, when an object comes down, its potential energy changes. Potential energy will decrease. And what will be the change in potential energy? The total height from which it has come down is 2r. So change in potential energy will be mg into 2r. As we all know, change in Ke will be equal to change in potential energy. So I'll write half m bb square minus half m va square equal to 2 mgr. Is it right? Half m vb square minus half m va square equal to 2 mgr. Now over here we will substitute the value of Va min as Va min is how much? Root gr. Right? So this becomes half m bb square equal to half m gr plus 2 mgr. It's a very simple equation. I have substituted the value of root gr over here in Va square. It has become simply gr. So half mgr I take on the other side, half mgr plus 2 mgr. Okay, it becomes 5 by 2 mgr. Half m bb square equal to 5 by 2 mgr. Okay, and m will get cancelled, 2 will get cancelled, and finally what we get here is Vb minimum equal to root 5 gr. This is the expression for minimum velocity at point B, root 5 gr. Now see, we will now talk about difference in tension at the lowest point and highest point. So tension is maximum at the lowest point and minimum at the highest point. So at highest point we have got the equation mg plus ta minus equal to mva square upon r, and at lowest point it is tb minus mg equal to mvb square upon r. So also we know va mean is root gr and vb mean is what? Root 5 gr. Now what I do? I subtract equation 1 from equation 2. Okay, subtracting 2 minus 1. So what I get? TB minus mg minus mg minus TA equal to mvb square by r, that I'll take common, minus va square. Correct? I'll take an m upon r common. Now Vb square is 5 gr and this is what? Gr. So we get m upon r 5 gr minus gr, which gives you 4 gr. Okay, and 4 gr upon r is what? 4 mg. On this side we get tb minus ta equal to tb minus ta minus 2 mg, or finally I can write tb minus ta equal to 6 mg. This is one more equation which will be very useful in numericals. Difference between the tension at the lowest point and highest point is given by 6 mg. Now what remains is to know the tensions at point C and D, which are midpoints. When we derive in a similar manner, okay, we get the tension, total tension at point C and at point D as 3 mg, and velocity, minimum velocity at point C or minimum velocity at point D is root 3 gr. Okay, now finally I'll once again write velocity, minimum velocity at point A is given by root gr. Okay, first minimum velocity at point B, minimum. Okay, these are the minimum velocities at point A, 5 gr, and at points C and D values will be same, minimum velocity, okay, will be root 3 gr. Okay, that completes our derivation.